Good afternoon and welcome to the media news. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. The Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions says it has collected the required information on the merits of the cash withdrawal limits being introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria for onward submission to the Senate. The upper legislative chamber has mandated the committee to find out the Apex Bank the compelling reasons for the introduction of the policy which limits an individual to 100,000 naira per week and a corporate organization to 500,000 naira per week. Chairman of the committee, Senator Obasani, after a confirmatory hearing with some reappointed deputy governors of the Apex Bank, said that the deputy governor of CBN on financial system stability, Aisha Ndanosa Ahmad, provided the required information on the planned cashless policy. Motorists and commuters have continued to groan under the hardship caused by the increase in the pump price of the premium motor spirit. Those who spoke in separate interviews with OSBC News lamented that the crisis in the petroleum sector has led to further increase in the prices of goods and services, thereby escalating the suffering of the masses. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has more.
Which has led to scarcity of fuel and increase in price of petrol and its attendant implications in the lives of the people, as well as on the prices of goods and services, has escalated the hardship most Nigerians have already been subjected to, as it has led to further increase in transport fare and that of goods and services. Light, however, seems to be beaming in the oil sector as the Department of State Services, DSS, has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Independent Petroleum Market Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, and other stakeholders in the oil sector to resolve the ongoing fuel crisis. The DSS threatened that it would launch manhunt for any destructive tendencies if after 48 hours there is still queues at various filling stations in the country. According to the DSS, the service is charged with the mandate of detecting and preventing crimes and criminalities that may want to jeopardize internal security, with the fuel crisis is not an exemption. The 48 hours ultimatum issued by the Department of State Services have raised the hopes of Nigerians who express optimism that the fuel crisis in no time will be something of the past. Investigation revealed that petrol is being sold between 180 naira and 280 naira per litre. Speaking with OSBC News on the scarcity of fuel and increase in pump price, respondents including Mr. Wale Ateleke, Mr. Shefiu Muhyiddin, and Elder Titus Omoni lamented that Nigerians are already battling with high cost of living, urging the federal government and concerned stakeholders to come to their rescue. To enjoin the government to find a lasting solution to the scarcity of fuel, while they expressed hope that the 48 hours ultimatum will be implemented as expected across the country.
We are really tired. This frustration is too high for us. But if they want this Nigeria to be okay, they should find solution on it.
The scarcity is somehow alarming in the sense that by this time we don't even expect it at all to still have fuel scarcity in Nigeria. It's a hard time for we commuters.
The respondents maintain that the time has come for Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the federal government to resuscitate the country's ailing refineries and stop refining Nigeria's crude abroad, which they describe as economic sabotage. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
Also, the federal government has been called upon to repair the existing refineries as well as to put in place new ones in the all geopolitical zones in order to relieve the bottlenecks in the supply and distribution chain. Vice Chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria of Oyo and Osun State branches, Al-Aji Muhyiddin Lawal, made the call while speaking with OSBC News after participating on the TV Current Affairs program Saturday Morning Treat against the backdrop of fuel shortage and price hike in the country. The IPMAN Vice Chairman further said that members of the association have no choice other than to sell what they buy because they are being forced to buy from private depot owners who sell at exorbitant price because of lack of supply to conventional depots. He speaks further.
For Potoko, Nigeria being the man's
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up in that report. The federal government has expressed worry over the low number of convictions in situations involving possible examination fraud in the country. Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Education, Mr. Andrew Adejo, made this known in Abuja at a one-day sensitization workshop on examination malpractice in Nigeria, organized by the National Examination Council in collaboration with the National Assembly. Mr. Adejo, who was represented by the Director of Special Duties, Federal Ministry of Education, Zubairu Abdullahi, said the government at various times came up with laws to check the menace of examination malpractice, which are yet to yield the desired results. He listed some of the laws to include the Decree 20 of 1984, prescribing 21 years imprisonment upon conviction, and the amended Examination Malpractice Act of 1991, which seeks 5-year jail term or a fine of 250,000 naira. He explained that more so that not many have gone to jail because of examination malpractice. It should therefore be looked into for amendment in tackling the challenges bedeviling the conduct of public examinations in Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed shock over the reported kidnapping of 5 newborn babies in Anambra State, directing the rising crime rate in the area has been reduced without further delay. Expressing his concern about the incident, President Buhari said that the case must be solved immediately. Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garuba Shehu, in a statement explained that the president has also directed that security at hospitals must be foolproof so that such an attack does not happen again. The reported kidnapping occurred in Ikpolugu area of the state as the attackers abducted the babies and zoomed off without any trace. And moving on to sports. A prominent football journalist from the United States has died while covering the World Cup in Qatar. Grant Wall, aged 48, collapsed due to a heart attack when extra time began in the Argentina-Netherlands game. Last month, Mr. Wall was briefly detained by Qatari authorities for trying to enter a stadium wearing a rainbow shirt in support of LGBT rights. A spokesperson for the Qatari body responsible for planning the World Cup, the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, expressed sadness by the death of the U.S. journalist Grant Wall. In a statement, the U.S. Soccer Federation described the incident as heartbroken. Also, Mr. Wall's wife, Celine Granda, said she was in complete shock, adding that she was thankful for the support she had received from friends. It was learned that Mr. Wall celebrated his 48th birthday on Thursday with friends in Qatar a day before he collapsed. Moving on to the foreign scene. South Africa has said it will decriminalize sex work, hoping to tackle high levels of crime against women in the country with one of the world's highest HIV case loads. According to the country's Justice Ministry, the sale and purchase of sexual services will no longer be treated as a crime under the proposed legislation. Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said that decriminalization will minimize human rights violations, discrimination, and stigma against sex workers, but improve their working conditions. Meanwhile, advocacy groups said that there are more than 150,000 workers in the country, and South Africa has been hit by a growing wave of violence against women. South Africa has witnessed a double-digit increase in murders of women year on year between July and September, with almost 1,000 women killed. Still on the foreign scene, Portuguese Parliament has approved legislation to allow medically assisted suicide in limited circumstances. Once enacted, the bill would allow an adult who wishes to die. According to the bill, the person must be in a situation of great intensity suffering with definitive injury of extreme gravity or serious and incurable disease. The measure has parallels on only a handful of countries worldwide, particularly in Indonesia. Reports say members of the parliament voted 126 to 84 in favor, while all but 7 members of Portugal's governing Socialist Party, which has a majority in parliament, backing the bill, as did some opposition members. And that ends the midday news on OSBC TV. It was edited by Adebari Ejimakinde. Do join us at 5 for the evening news. Good afternoon.